this is Tiffany Hopkins with Oregon State University's Forestry and Natural Resources Extension Program, and today I'm here to talk to you about tapping big leaf maple trees to make syrup. So traditionally this is done on the East Coast with sugar maples, but you can have great success, and there are a few people that are having great success in tapping big leaves, and the difference is that the sap has less of a sugar content, but it still makes really delicious syrup. So what I'm going to show you today is just the tapping process, and I'll talk you through making the actual sugar. But what you're going to need to tap is a spile, a drill, and a drill bit that fits the size of your spile. These come in all different like materials, and there's smaller ones than this too, so that your drill bit's going to depend on the size of your spile. You want it to be similar in diameter. And then also something to collect your sap with. So I have these that will attach directly onto this spile. A lot of people will use a tube, some sort of tubing system, so they'll attach the tube to the spile, and then that will flow down into whatever their collection mechanism is, and that's great too. So to get started, the best time of year to do this is either like starting in late fall, winter through spring before bud break. So what you're shooting for is the temperatures are getting below freezing or close to freezing at the nighttime, and then they're heating up above that during the day, which is going to cause the sap to be flowing more throughout the tree. And then what you're going to want to do is find some maples on your property. So I tagged mine last spring once the leaves were out, so I could tell it was definitely a maple. The best size is 4 to 18 inches, so younger trees. And then also these little clusters or shoots of maples work really good for tapping. So that's what we're going to do today. So you'll take your drill, and you want to drill in at a bit of an upward angle, so that's just going to be having gravity help pull the sap down. So what you're going to want to do is drill your hole about 1.5 inches into the tree, and if you can do that in one fluid motion, like go in and then pull it out while you're still drilling, that's going to prevent some of the bark dust from getting into your spile. So we'll go ahead and do that. Okay, so now you're going to want to place your spile. So you'll start to push it into the hole that you've created, and then you'll take a rubber mallet and just start pounding it into the tree, and you have to be pretty aggressive with this. Okay, so once you have your spile placed, then you just go ahead and place whatever your collection mechanism is going to be. So mine is just this bag collection, and then as the sap flows, you'll start getting sap into whatever your container is, and then you can start collecting it in preparation for making syrup. Recently, the Women Owning Woodlands Network got to visit a real-life big leaf maple sugar bush out in Colton, Oregon. And so I thought, while I walk you through the sugaring process, boiling the sap down to make syrup, that you could view some of the photos and videos that were taken from that operation. And that operation is called the Oregon Maple Project, if you want to check it out. So in order to make syrup, you'll have to have a different set of supplies. You'll need a large pot, a few large pots, a stove, some filtering paper, a funnel, a candy thermometer, and then some sort of glass container to store the syrup. and it takes a lot of time. So just be prepared for that. And it takes a lot of sap to make syrup. If you've never seen this process or gone through it, you will appreciate maple syrup so much more once you have. All right, so to get started, you boil the excess water out of the sap. That's when it is going to break it down into sugar. When you're doing this, it's producing tons and tons of steam. So it's easier if you can do it outside, but indoors you can do small batches and just make sure you have a lot of good airflow. And then you just continue to boil the sap until it takes on that consistency of syrup. And using a candy thermometer, you can test, and the boil will be finished when the temperature reaches about 7 degrees above the boiling point of water, which is going to differ based on what your elevation is. So just look that up. And so for instance, at sea level, the syrup is finished at 219 degrees Fahrenheit using that candy thermometer. Then you'll take that hot syrup, pour it over the filter to remove the sugar sand, it's called, and then you'll pour that syrup into a sterile jar and seal it. And then you have your syrup. So if that's something you're interested in, I hope you're able to do that. Also, I think it's just really fun to tap the maple tree and drink the sap straight out of the tree. As an adult, that is just like, I don't know, there's something so cool about it, but I think as a kid it would just be awe-inspiring. So something fun to think about if you're not interested in making syrup. I will include below a resource from OSU Extension on tapping bigleaf maples and making syrup. But I hope that you enjoyed this video and get out there and find some big leaves to tap. All right, thanks.